Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Okay, so continuing to build on, I guess, what we could call my little series here, demanding Gavin Newsom to resign in disgrace, well, we've got some updates, I guess, as the pressure continues to mount. I know Gavin Newsom recently called into the White House, complaining about all the misinformation that he's supposedly the victim of, but pathetic distractions aside, well, Gavin Newsom is getting exposed like never before, as he's now become Elon Musk's next focus. Elon is fully exposing the failed leadership of California, holding absolutely nothing back. Let me show you guys exactly what he said here. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright friends, so here's a clip of Elon Musk joining in the criticisms of Gavin Newsom's failed leadership in California.
And I don't mean, there's some good regulations, but there's just so much that we just can't get anything done. I mean, you take sort of the California wildfires, for example. We really need to have fire breaks, and we need to clear the brush back away from houses. And we need to make sure the reservoirs are full. These are all kind of obvious things. But due to a bunch of environmental rulings, you can't actually do that in California. So they're not allowed to do the fire breaks, and they're not allowed to push the brush back away from houses, because it might hurt some like red-legged frog or something like that. There's like some sort of creature, usually a creature you've never heard of, that is preventing this from occurring. There's like this fish called the smelt, for example. So we have far more freshwater runoff into the ocean than we should, really, and on the theory that it helps this one little fish that likes a slightly briny freshwater saltwater mix. And if we keep more freshwater, then the smelt fish will not be happy. But there's no actual evidence that the smelt fish is going to be unhappy if we keep a bit more fresh water, in fact. So we should keep more fresh water, keep the reservoirs full, and just have some sensible fire breaks and move the brush away from houses. That's just an example of, like, we've saved a lot of trouble, a lot of tragedy in LA if we'd done that.
And like I told you, jumping on the bandwagon and pretty much confirming it all, totally exposing Gavin Newsom and the utter dysfunction of California's leadership. And it's pretty much exactly what Donald Trump and others have been saying for years. Just like I've been showing you guys, there's probably clips going back to 2018, 2019 of Trump saying this exact thing.
It's a disgraceful thing. Old trees are sitting there rotting and dry. And instead of cleaning it up, they don't touch them. They leave them, and we end up with these massive fires.
The brush must be cleared. But nobody seems to be listening, especially not Gavin Newsom. And it's not like this is some Herculean task, and it's certainly not a groundbreaking revelation. It's basic fire management. It's something that's been done in the past for decades. Yet under Newsom's leadership, it's not being done, or at least not being done effectively. And now here we are dealing with deadly consequences. I mean, they failed on all fronts because you simply can't get anything done in California. They don't have the water, they don't have the fire stops, the brush isn't cleared. It's a complete mismanaged disaster. If I was Gavin Newsom, honestly, I'd never show my face in public again. And that's because of how bad this is, and how sound the argument against Gavin Newsom and his goons has been. I mean, it should be over for Democrats in California. And if it wasn't already bad for Gavin Newsom and the rest of them, well, it's now getting even worse. Another thing that Elon Musk is pushing on X that's going viral right now, already accumulating 8.8 million views as I'm recording this video, just a few hours later as Elon posted this. Nick Sorter reports that the Pacific Palisades Reservoir was empty and offline when the firestorm exploded, per the LA Times. He then links this video. Elon tweeted that and wrote, "Incompetence costs lives." And he is absolutely correct. And he is the person with the credibility to speak on this issue, if you ask me. He's the man behind Tesla, SpaceX, two of the most innovative companies in the world. He even spearheaded a massive infrastructure project that was digging tunnels under Los Angeles. That basically at the time signaled his commitment to the state's future. He was a Californian. He was investing in the state, building in it, creating jobs, but eventually he had enough and he fled. He fled the state and left to Texas. And so if Elon Musk is saying that incompetence is to blame, that they're to blame, well, then there's some weight to that statement. Some big freaking weight to that statement. And Nick Sorter in his tweet went as far to claim that this is criminal, and maybe it might be. I mean, if it's really this bad, this level of mismanagement could be borderline criminal, if not criminal. An empty freaking reservoir during times of heightened risk of wildfire when you're not clearing the bush. Where's the money going? That's the first question that I'm asking. That's where it really can get criminal. The government's elected to protect the people and to spend their tax-paying dollars in a way that protects and benefits the people. Well, where's the frickin' money going? Because it certainly doesn't seem to me as if it's being spent on doing the absolute base necessity of governance, the most basic of service, providing water and especially having enough water to combat wildfires when, again, we're in a moment of heightened risk. What's happened in California is you have a bunch of pretend Hollywood elitist politicians who have gotten caught up in all of these social issues and all of this pretentious virtue signaling crap instead of being on top of their duties. It's pure incompetence. It's deadly incompetence. It might even border on criminal. And at the end of all of this, after all the warnings with everything that's being exposed, again, I just reiterate, the only right thing to do if your top leadership is resign. And it certainly seems like there's political motivation behind that. If not resign, then recall. Here's a viral clip of a major radio station in Los Angeles publicly calling on Democrat Mayor Karen Bass to be removed from office.
Urgently call for the immediate recall of Mayor Karen Bass due to her gross mismanagement and failure to effectively respond to the devastating 2020 fires. In the wake of these catastrophic fires, our city has been left in crisis. Water supplies have been severely strained. Billions of taxpayer dollars have been misallocated or left unaccounted for, and countless lives have been lost. Families have been displaced, homes destroyed, livelihoods shattered, yet Mayor Bass has been absent from the front lines, choosing to travel abroad while her constituents suffer. Despite the tireless efforts of our first responders, the city has been woefully unprepared to ensure the safety and well-being of its residents. Basic resources such as water and emergency services have been inadequate, and leadership has been nowhere to be found when it was needed most. We demand the immediate resignation of Mayor Karen Bass due to her failure to lead during this unprecedented crisis. It goes on. I'm signing the petition right now during the commercial break, and let's put a link on our website for it, because I think everybody, it's not only for residents of
It seems to be all out pandemonium, and probably with good reason. Hopefully the people are waking up and they're seeing what's really happening. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.